case is Mr. P.
We're gonna have a talk,
Excuse
a philosophical conversation about being a functional adult. So, my camera's on.
you. It is. You're wonky.
Imagine
Let's lean this way.
trying to have a conversation about being a functional adult. You can't even get your camera straight. You get that camera functional. It feels right, but it's not.
It's still wonky. You probably got one leg. I don't know, but it's your phone. It's the thing your phone's in. It's creepy.
Yeah, this is the issue here. It's leaning. That's why you don't cheap out.
Put it on the table.
But when you can, I guess I could just do that. You know what? Let's just go with that.
That finger is.
That'll work.
Doggy.
Um,
Okay.
welcome to the stream. I should grab my laptop so I can see
Okay.
the camera.
You want to see what it looks like?
So
Look
I
over
can
there.
see the chat.
It's over there. You got it halfway on over there.
I know, but I won't be able to read it from here.
Oh, I see what you're saying. To your
But
stalkers.
it's also not. I don't think I'm signed into that to my just on my laptop either.
Well, I'm gonna start talking while Paul wanders around.
Gets
just
my
getting his stuff together.
Sugar, honey, and iced tea together.
Anyway, what's in a name? What's in a title? So, first of all, we need to start off with what Paul thinks. What is his definition of a husband?
Am I answering that?
Yes, that's because I can't answer that for you.
My definition of a husband mirrors my definition of a wife, which is the standard generic nurturer, well, provider and protector, provider roles, and the nurturing and help. Not the, I have to say helper role, but I don't mean it in the context of white Europeanism. I see men and women in relationship roles as pilots and co-pilots. A co-pilot and a pilot have the exact same qualifications when it comes to flying a plane, but if you have two people that are both trying to lead, then it's going to create conflict because the person if you're both trying to lead different ways, then you're just going to have conflict and chaos. So one person steps into the primary decision-making role and one person steps in the support role so that they can see the things that the person that's in the lead is missing. That's kind of the way I see it. So a husband and a wife carry the same exact status in the household. The wife just tends to allow the husband to take the lead. So that's how I see those two things being different. And I also my belief or my understanding of the role for husband and wives is that the whole goal is to start a family. So you get married to have kids, and you guys agree to work together for the betterment of your children. And yeah.
Okay. So, how this discussion came about.
I guess I'm not gonna be able to see the chat. I have to
If
work
you
on that.
posted and told them about whatever happened the other day or no?
No, not yet. You can
Okay.
bring off the speed.
Well, not really, because I don't discuss it.
Whatever.
So, as y'all know, Paul is married, not to me. Paul has a wife that does not want to be his wife.
Mhm.
So Paul, something happened the other day, and I was like, well, wait a minute, how are you still a husband to a wife that does not want to be your wife? Paul, your rebuttal to me was, I am a husband.
Me being a husband, like yeah, I am a husband. So
Okay.
even if she doesn't, I'm a husband by doing all the things that are required to become a husband. And if
But
she
to whom,
doesn't
though?
want to be a wife,
Yeah, but they're not reciprocal. Go ahead.
if she doesn't want to be a wife, it doesn't change the fact that she's my wife, right? Her autonomy and her agency as a woman is still valid, so she can still make her own choices. She can still be her own person. She can still do what she wants, but she can't step out of the legal binding contract that we made and the unity that was made under God, right? Like if she has these Christian values and she believes these things so wholeheartedly and was willing to get married to me, then that makes, like, all of those steps makes me what I am. If you go to school and get your degree and whatever it is you're trying to get, you become that thing. Even if you wind up working at McDonald's, you still are disciplined in that area where you got the degree in, right? So the marriage certificate kind of is like the diploma. The steps went through to achieve the goal, right? And to me, that's the point. Like, I can't force her to be. That's why I take the European component out of it. I can't force her to be a wife. I can't force her to submit. I can't force her to do the things she's supposed to do. But the household that I have still includes her legally. If something happens to her, they're gonna try to get in contact with me. If something happens to me, they're gonna try to get in contact with her, because legally I am her husband and legally she's my wife. Right?
So it's for you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. I'm so, yeah.
Welcome to the street.
He could have been married to a goddamn monkey for all I'm concerned right now. He'd probably get more affection and shit done and train it better. Anyway, but Paul's rebuttal to me then was, well, that's the same thing, you're a mother. And I was like, just because a woman has a child doesn't make her a mother. That means she's birthed something. A mother is earned. There's like a husband title is earned, a wife title is earned. Just because you do go through the action, to me, it doesn't make you that if you're not practicing of the definition of that. That was my answer to his rebuttal.
And I disagree with that, because you can be a mother from having children, or you can be a good mother, or you can be a bad mother. What you are is what you are. You can be a good wife, or you can be a bad wife. You can be a good husband, you can be a bad husband. You can be a good person, or you can be a bad person. But the thing that you are isn't validated in that. You are a captain, or a soldier, or Joe, or Tina, or a tree, or a horse, and then the other values add on top of that. The ethics, the morality, and the legality of those things are separate from that ideology, or from that idea, or from that construct. So you are a husband if you do the husband things. You are a man if you do the man things. You are a boy if you're born a boy. You are a girl if you're born a girl. If a girl has a child, she becomes a mother. If every girl that gives birth to a child has to have a man as part of the component of getting pregnant and giving birth, then that process makes that man the father of that child. Raising children and being a father are not separate. We've just decided to make them separate, but they're not actually separate. If a guy gets pregnant, if a woman gets pregnant by a man that is not the father of the child, and that father raises that child, that man is raising another man's child. That man is not, by definition, a father. He's doing the work of a father. He's putting in the labor of a father, but he, by definition, didn't impregnate the girl. Did not impregnate or seed that offspring. So by definition, he's not a father. We don't want to deal with the reality of the basics of things, but that's the way that it works. That's the reason why we inherently have a problem with infidelity, cheating, and all the other stuff. That's where it comes from. Like, that's why it is a thing. Otherwise, why wouldn't it be a thing? Why is it an issue when a man catches a woman cheating?
So why is it an issue?
Yeah.
Ask yourself that. Why is it an issue? Why does it bother you that if whoever your partner was is cheating?
I just said why. Humans as animals biologically don't want to invest energy into other offspring that's not their own.
Oh, you're talking like the lion killing blah 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 blah. So what does that got to do with cheating? Oh,
because you can't know if you're the only person having sex with a woman.
Oh, then you know
that the child is yours. But so if you're in a relationship with a female that's cheating, you can't know.
Okay.
Because this whole DNA stuff is new. But in the past, you couldn't know. The only way you could know for certain or have any level of faith or confidence that the child was yours is by being in a relationship with a faithful woman that's going to abstain from having sex with other men.
Okay. So that's some regress and go back. So you are no longer in the army when you were a soldier. So do you still consider yourself a soldier?
No, I consider myself a veteran.
Oh, okay. What's the difference between a veteran and a soldier, if you don't mind me asking?
The only difference is that a veteran is a retired soldier.
You don't take orders no more. Is that what a soldier is?
Soldier is just a soldier is an active member of the combat arms.
Oh, okay. All right.
So when you're actively, even reserve, if you're in a reserve and you are actively in the reserve and you're an active member of the combat arms, you can be called at any moment. You have to drop your life and you made this obligation to do those things. Once you become a veteran, you're no longer in a branch, right? Because all veterans identify as the same military service. We're not an Army veteran or a Navy veteran, or we're just veteran. Even like the and fighting, like the little rivalries that exist in the military, that all goes away once you become a veteran. We're not like, oh, you were in the Marines, right? Yeah, we don't. We're all just veterans now. We all understand the struggle. We all survived and endured the same level of BS. So yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so.
Can't see who that is.
Yeah, so.
It's too far away.
You want me to grab it so you can read it?
No, it's probably your stalker. What are they saying?
It's supposed to do. They're just saying hi. Supposed to do. She's not a pet. That's right. The more he talks, the more his hairline gets pushed back.
What? Oh, that's definitely a kid.
They're always are. So.
Good. Y'all,
Yeah.
y'all are so petty. Y'all wish y'all had this hairline. That's called wisdom. His brain's so big, it's pushing the hair back. You can definitely tell that you're very juvenile and you still stay at home with your mom. I don't know how I'm gonna break it down. You come for me, I'm gonna have 5 more waiting for you.
So what else?
Anywho, see, that's weird if we talking about that. Yeah, so it was just the what's in the title of the name. So we agree to disagree, but I hear you, but yeah.
So why do you disagree?
Because like I said, my thing is, if you're not active, okay, for example, that's why I brought up the veteran and the soldier. The soldier, you're actively doing those things to be called a soldier.
Correct.
Like father, you're actively, to me, you actively have to be doing those things in order to be a father. You have to actively be doing those things to be a husband, but you're not being allowed to do either of those things. You basically were thrown away. Like, that's the way, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For lack of better words, you didn't choose to leave, they chose to leave you because they didn't want it, or they thought they wanted it and didn't want it, or been kept away from you in that sense. So I just see it as not because you're not being allowed to do those actions.
Well, what about people, male or female, that are in the role of a parent but are not actually fulfilling the obligations of a parent?
Are you talking about you currently or
Yeah,
me
just in
currently?
general.
Okay, so
If you-
those are
so
roles.
people
So
that have children but are neglecting their children, they're not
Oh.
actually raising their children, they're not actually.
they're
doing
not
stuff.
they're not they're
But
not
they're
mothers, they're
for-
not fathers, because a father is, so this is my thing, a daddy is the one who takes care of you, father is the one who made you. So that means they ain't got nothing to do with you. So I actually have a father and a daddy, and I've divorced both of them. But yeah, I'm raising my grandson at this moment because his mother was she's not fit, or she wasn't fit, let's put it that way. And she's still not fit right now, but she's doing her own thing. But yeah, that's just because she had my grandson does not.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I think
I
it's
don't know.
dangerous to change the definition.
I'm just saying
of words.
because it's those titles are earned because that's what you're
I don't think
effectively doing. That's what I
I
say.
don't think they are.
you.
I think the titles is what communicates. I think the facilitation of communication requires universal words. And if I have a definition for a word and you have a definition of a word, then we can effectively communicate. And I shouldn't have to use a word. I shouldn't have to use one of my words that fits I shouldn't have to use a word for me that fits your description because I changed the definition of my words. I think the definitions of the words are more, the nomenclature is better, is more important than the value of the word itself. I think people put too much energy into the word potato, or like a perfect example is tomato. And the idea that a tomato is a fruit or it's a vegetable. Like defining what a tomato is less important than being able to effectively communicate that I want a tomato.
It's fruit.
Right. but can you bring me a tomato? Whether it's a fruit or not,
I get it.
can you bring me a tomato? Right? Like the joke with the glasses, right? Like
Oh yeah.
if I ask you to go to the house and get my glasses, are you
I love
gonna
it.
come back? My one of my cousins when she was younger, her mother asked her to go to the house to get her glasses. She was really young, like 5 or 6, like really young. Her mother asked her to go in the house and go to the house and get my glasses and bring them to me. So she leaves, and then the story was being, I'm same age my cousin, so I don't remember the story. So it was being told by my mother. I think it was my mother that was telling me the story. So them as young adults was seeing this young child come down the street carrying a handful of actual glass cups. And so when she gets her mom's like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "You told me to go get your glasses." She's like, "Girl, I didn't want those." So she's all upset.
Right.
But the communication and the
Yes.
execution was valid, right?
Yeah.
Like she communicated what she had wanted, the information was received and heard and processed and understood, and she went to go get her. She's like, I didn't want these, I wanted the glasses that go in my face. He's like, "But you said go get your glasses."
Right.
So I got your glasses. She's like, "Girl, take those glasses home." So that's what I mean by like, you want to communicate, you want to have good understanding. All she had to do was say, "Go get my
Seeing
sunglasses."
Reading glasses or sunglasses. Yeah.
The glasses I wear on my
On
face, go
face.
get them.
Especially to a child.
And
right.
I know that the reason why I feel like that is because my mother was very good about saying, "Go get the thing." My mother would always just be like, "PC, go get the thing." And I'd be like, "What thing?" And she would give me these descriptions of what she wants. And I would always come back with exactly what she was asking for. So then we get the thing off the thing over next to that other thing. And I would always come back with what she wanted. There's only a few handful of times where I didn't understand and I had to go back. But there was this understanding about what was where, and like the inventory of our house didn't change that much. And I understood what she was trying to do and what she was trying to get done. So I would narrow it down in my brain. Okay, she's doing hair, so she probably wants a hair product. She said it's a bottle, so it's probably one of her bottles for stuff she does hair with. So it's probably either alcohol or shampoo or oil or whatever. So I would come back with the thing. She's like, "Thank you," and we would do that all the time. She would rarely ever ask for something by its name. It was always, "Go get the thing. Go sit in my account," and it was always like everything was described and the name for everything that she didn't want was communicated.
So
But the name of the thing that she wanted, she couldn't just say, "Go upstairs next to the hairbrush by the jewelry box, grab that thing off of there." She didn't, she could say hairbrush and jewelry box, but for some reason the thing, she couldn't say the name of that at that time. So he needs to get out of it.
No, yeah, get a towel. You don't think you.
I might, hold on, I'll be back. I think I might have.
Well, I'm here. For you guys are wondering, yes, I have on my tiara crown today. I had to protect my third eye. I was out in the world, so I don't know if you guys know about Lapis. That helps your third eye center and rest and not work so hard. And then I can't see, I got a puka shell here, but I can't see, I can't remember what I got on this side without looking in the mirror. But I have my stones to help me center, ward off, clarity, third eye focus, and relaxing. But I made it myself. Alright, Mr. P's back.
I'm back. I don't know what else to
Yeah,
add.
no, either. We were talking about something else that day too.
You were just super emotional about the whole
Yeah.
dynamic of fathers and
Oh
husbands
yes, like I
and-
said, I have a daddy and a father, and I'm like, yeah, that's back. But
So
yeah.
do you think, because I always want to have these conversations with the natural person, like that's the whole reason for why I want to do the video where we're doing it. Do you think, because I believe that the way that modern society deals with religion and has equated father with God is the reason why you feel the way you feel?
No, because I don't think God is my father. I don't think God is a man. So that's.
But you did say that
that's
a father is who made you. And
Yes,
the
no,
fathers
as
who
in-
raised you.
Yeah, father as in
But
came out of the sperm.
do you feel like
And
maybe
my
the
daddy is
idea
the one
of
who actually was there with me, showed me how to tie my shoe, ride my bike, hold your fork this way, told me about boys. That's what a daddy is to
but do
me.
you think that the idea of who made you comes from the idea that the Father God is responsible for creating the earth?
No, because I don't think God is a male. If he was, well, I don't want to offend you. I don't think God is a man at all. At all.
So yeah, I'm on the same page with that.
You're not
I don't see the,
I think God has some male. I don't
Well,
think God
that's-
is
that's the reason
is
why
is male at all.
don't
That's all I can say
subscribe
right
to
now.
religion because the religion caters to the patriarchy. So it caters to the idea that the highest order is male and men and fathers. The Europeans corrupted it all. The way I see the household when it comes to male, men and women and fathers and mothers and husbands and wives, it was always based on protecting and providing for children. The family unit is the government, it is the nation, because you guys are kind of work together to protect each other and to provide for each other. You don't actually care about any of the other families. We only interact with other families to protect ourselves from nature. But we've gotten so far away from nature, that's why we're confused.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it was just me, if it was just a man, a woman, his children against nature, then they would be able to fight off all the bears and the lions and the dragons, well not dragons, but all the crocodiles and all that other stuff. That's all they would have to do. Protect from weather, protect from insect bites and colds and sicknesses and all that. Like that's what the goal would be.
So you're saying since that's not what we have to protect from other actual humans,
Right.
that it's
That's what built community. So the more families had to protect each other from other families, families started getting bigger, right? Because I can't marry my sisters or my cousins. So since I have to join with this family, but they're the enemy, that's what forms that natural relationship. And that's where the fathers and the mothers and the husbands and the wives come in. The women and the matriarchal energy and the patriarchal energy and the matriarchal energy, just using those terms, the father and the mother, the roles were the same. Someone's going to be the provider and someone's going to be the nurturer, right? The children, both parents can't leave the kids and go hunt, right? They both can't because somebody has to watch the kids. You can leave the kids with the siblings. The older children, the firstborns, can raise the brothers and keep the brothers and sisters in check, but even that requires them to reach a certain age to even be able to do that, right? So in that process, the mother typically falls into the role of protecting the children while the father goes out and hunts. That's the matriarchal role. Protect the children from everything. The father's role is to protect the whole house from everything. So that's why we have this unnecessary dynamic of women always, oh, I want my kids. But it's like, why are you protecting the kids from the father? It's not necessary. Right? I mean, sometimes it can be, but that extra level of energy is not necessary, right? So the father
especially
helps.
if you choose your partner, spouse, mate, husband, whatever wisely,
Well,
it's not necessary.
But I think the reason why we have the issues we have is because we've moved so far away from those foundational principles.
Yeah, that's very true. Though.
If we were dating, if we were separating dating, like a perfect example is what I was saying earlier about wanting to know that you're the father of a child. If I'm having fun with this female and we know that this is supposed to be fun, she shouldn't be able to get offended if I decide, you know what, I want to have fun with you, but I want this woman to have my children, right? But what is she going to do? Even though she's not even interested in being in a relationship with me like that, she's still going to get offended that I would rather go to somebody that wants to have my children than to not consider her as my actual.
It depends.
Even though we've already established that she's not even trying to have my kids, right? Because we have that invested emotional, there's always that level of invested intimacy in relationships. So you can't move away from that. And that's the way I see it. The goal for two consenting adults is making a family and making children is always based on raising and growing the children, and we fall into the roles that are necessary to facilitate that. But we move so far from that we don't understand that we should be working together for the children. And since we don't do that, it's just like these unnecessary titles. That's why I see it possible for a woman to be able to be the head of a household, because y'all have always been the head of a household. There has never been a time in history like this whole idea that these women were. I don't see. Maybe I just have really strong elderly women in my life, but I don't see weak, feeble, broken women that raised. My grandmothers and my great grandmothers weren't broke down, weak women. They were always wise. They were always full of wisdom, and most importantly, they were always happy. Even if they was pretending to be happy,
Right.
I don't remember them being angry and cantankerous and sad and upset. They were always content and happy. They were always loving life and enjoying the quality of the life that they were living and doing what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
That's who they were. Even with husbands, they was always doing what they wanted to do, going where they want to go, living life the way they wanted to live it. But this new generation's got this idea where it's like, oh, our grandmothers were prisoners and they were this and they were like, no, I don't think that's how that worked. I think that there has always been the idea of what we now say simping has always been loyalty. It's always been, I'm gonna do what I need to do for her, because if I don't do it for her, another man will. And I don't think there was ever anything negative or wrong about that. It's just nowadays you automatically notice someone's trying to take advantage of you, so they're trying to get as much from you before you bail as they can, and vice versa. But in the past, it was called loyalty. Right?
Yeah, indeed.
In the past, it was just called loyalty. It was just called, man, girl, I don't understand why you always running every time he call you, like, because he's my man. Like, but nowadays it's like she has something to prove, or she's trying to validate herself in some way. But what is your long-term goal? Like, if you're investing all this emotional energy with this person,
Right.
what are you actually trying to do?
Succubus.
So that's how I see it. Women have always been head of households. Men used to be. There was a time when a man could come home and give all his money to his wife, and never ask any questions. Bills would get paid, everything would get taken care of, and if she needed extra, she would ask. Even though she had the money, she'd still be like, "Hey, is it okay if I buy this thing?" And he'll be like, "Sure."
Yeah.
Like that. I mean, maybe I just grew up in a different reality than everybody else, but that's what I remember.
Yeah, my
That's
grandpa
what I remember.
paid all the bills, bought my grandma everything she wanted, and her check was her check. That was my mother's mother.
Mm-hmm.
Now my grandma Selma, I don't remember her. She had two husbands, and one of them she married twice. So my grandfather, the Atkins, and then the other grandfather. But anyway, I think one of her husbands was like that, and then the other one, when I got to, hang out with my grandma Selma, she was her own woman. She had her own place, she paid her own bills and all that. He ended up leaving her some pension money because he got hit by a car and he got killed. But I don't remember. I don't know which one of my grandfathers on my father's side spoiled my grandma like that. Well, not spoiled. That's what I call it, spoiled. Or just let them have their own check. They were the provider. They could do what they want. Now, my grandma Christine, that is my daddy's mother. I never knew her to be married to my grandfather Abner, but I do know they were married, and all her children are by him. And by the time I was old enough to know what was going on, they were already divorced. And she had her own house. He still stayed in the church's house because he was still the pastor. And whatever and whatnot. And she had her house, he had that house, and then her children stayed with her. So she was the head of that household. And she was also still attending the church that they had together because she was the first lady. Yeah, it was quite interesting. They were divorced, but she still was the first lady. Because they don't believe in divorce supposedly, but it was a divorce. He had a whole other wife. When he married the new wife, that's when I was like, oh, wait a minute. Oh. Because to me, I didn't see nothing wrong with them staying in the same house because I didn't know what was going on. And then when I realized, oh, there's a whole other person. Oh, okay, that's why he stay over there, and we stay over here. My grandma stays over here. But yeah, those are the first. I guess that's the first. Yeah, I guess that's my first time realizing what divorce was. Yeah, I was about 12.
So what do you think the function of marriage is? Do you
Like you said,
does it allow
it's a business, and you're supposed to go in it with the idea that you're going to build, grow, and flourish together. That's mentally, physically, financially. Even if whether it's kids, it's an investment. Whether it's a home, it's an investment. If y'all do business together, it's an investment. Y'all buy stuff together, it's an investment. It's you spend time and money and your lifetime, it is an investment. It's just a business to me.
I agree.
You definitely have to attend it as a business, and it's hard to take your feelings and emotions out of it, but sometimes you have to, because you're like, okay, is this for the greater of me, or this is for the not the greater? Can I just let this slide, or can I not let it slide?
And I think that's the real conflict when it comes to marriage too, because marriage, like you said, is a business, but it's the business. I think the most important component is it's the business of wanting to start a flourishing family.
Yeah.
Like you're investing in the idea
Yeah.
of starting a family and raising children and being.
What if it's what if you don't want? What if there are no children? What if there's no children involved?
I think
So
the
is it still this?
foundation is that. I think that's the foundation. I think because of the way men and women are biologically aligned with each other, and we always have this desire to want to, even if we try to pretend like it doesn't there, we always have this desire to want to have children.
Yeah.
I think marriage is kind of like, if I'm gonna have children, I'm gonna have children with you. That's why I think it doesn't make any sense.
Because I don't know too many women that say, oh, I want baby dad. I want 6 baby daddies.
Yeah.
I don't want 3 baby daddies. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I'm no hypocrite. I have 3 different baby fathers because 2 of them, I was with a woman when I chose to have that child. But in the same sense, I wasn't gonna make the same mistake with the same person. Again, I'm like, you know what? Because one of my children, ain't gonna lie, it was the DNA that I wanted. I'm not even gonna lie. I wanted my kid to have this, and that. So I was like, yep, you're chosen. And then the other one, but I was not. We both know, even that person whose sperm I used, that it was not to be a couple. I had a girlfriend. I had a wife, and that's exactly what it was. We were just a donor. Good day. And then the other one, I probably should have did a lot of more research on the family history. Because their DNA and my DNA, my grandma said it one time when I thought she was cuckoo. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, what you talking about? She said, you can't just be mixing your DNA with everybody's DNA. And she wasn't lying. Yeah, my baby, I ain't gonna say which one it is, but that one, whoo-hoo. Chat, I definitely should have did some research on that DNA. But yeah, then there's always my perfect baby. And we're not gonna say who it is. You know who you are, you know who you are.
And that tells me that actually is part of the reason why I think the foundation of marriage licenses and birth certificates. I think that's the fundamental reason why they exist, so they can keep track of bloodlines to prevent.
Well, yeah, because they definitely brand you like a cow. Because when they sell a cow, there's papers on them. Because excuse me, it's like a dog. If you know what you want to know, it's full blood breeded and who the mother and the father was to see the bloodline. There's paperwork. It's called a certificate. So yeah, that's all that was. Just like the Social Security number, or we're pieces of you are pieces of property, driver's license, all that crap. It's a scam. If you think about it, every business is what? In all capital letters. Is your Social Security card? Your name is in all capital letters. That is your INN bank treasury number. We got thousands of money with that number. We just don't know how to get it. Well, y'all don't. But yeah. Oh yeah. Everything's in capital letters for a reason. You were a transaction in a business. And your life is on loan, and they try to estimate how much you're gonna be worth. Indeed. But yeah, I mean, even the ones who don't want kids, which I don't blame them in this now day and age. There's a lot of crap going on here, and they try to force you to make kids have shots. Like the other day, I took my grandson to the doctor, and they told me, "Oh, it's time for some shots." He looked at me, and I looked at him, and I was like, "Well, I'm gonna let you know around. Your mother and none of my kids got immunized. What for? What you injecting me with this crap for?
I am
To see how I react to it, to
I
get
am
all that."
pro immunization.
But you were forced to do it though. You were signed
Well,
to a piece
even
of the government, so you
Even
had
if I
no
wouldn't have been
choice.
forced, I still would have did it. I still would have got immunizations.
Well, sucks for
I
you.
believe in. Well, I understand the science behind it, so I'm okay with it. When I learned about, you know how antivenom is made, right?
Mm-hmm. I'm just saying though, why? So why would you let them poison your body and your DNA with that stuff? What other than you going overseas? Okay,
Because of
so
the
if you
history.
didn't go
Do
overseas,
you know the
would you
history?
still let them put
Do
that
you know
crap in you?
Yeah, you know the history of disease, right?
Of diseases?
Yeah, like the
They
Black
came from white
Plague,
people. No, I'm just playing. I don't
the
know.
Black Plague, and all the other stuff.
From being
polio.
nasty, I guess, because they all came around times where people didn't have the best hygiene, and I'm just observing it from when I seen when they happened. There was a lot of coal mining and like stuff going around in the air. Like, damn, y'all experimenting. Y'all got these people going down there stealing stuff from out the minerals and stuff out the earth, and then they come back with all these germs and diseases, and then they just happen to be contagious or whatever. So no, I guess maybe I don't. Maybe I have my own version that I've made up in my head.
So the human body is always in a constant state of war
Mhm.
with bacteria. There's no way for, every,
And let me just say this where he starts. When my great ancestors were in there with their loincloths and in the bushes and things,
in Africa.
we didn't have all these nasty germs until certain people brought them to us. So now you know who it is. So yeah.
So the human body has the capacity to fight off any infection. But the DNA that when a virus uses a host to mutate, it takes some of the host DNA and makes it part of its makeup.
And that's how it becomes
So that's how
I say morph.
Right,
Is that
that's
the
how
right word?
that's how it mutates.
Okay, that's the word I was looking for.
So every time someone gets infected, it'll mutate, and then every mutation has a better chance of getting past the immune system's response
All right.
within one person. So my body will develop antibodies to fight off a particular pathogen,
Mm-hmm.
but every generation of pathogen is new to my body, so my body has to keep coming up with new ways of detecting this particular virus, right? So this is what I think they do with immunization, and this is why I am anti-vaccination. I don't think you should go get a flu shot every freaking time you get one because it's probably not necessary. But I'm pro-immunization from childbirth up to adulthood because viruses can do long-term damage as you're trying to fight them off. You can be super strong and be lucky enough to not have any long-term damage, but the mortality rates and the long-term effects of mortality rates when it came to children in certain age groups getting certain viruses in the past was high enough that they were like, because you have to realize, everybody on the whole freaking planet are like, let's immunize each other, right? Every government, we can't agree on certain things, right? But every medical system in the entire world was like, we should all use immunization as a way to reduce and eliminate dangerous pathogens, right?
I'm listening.
So-
I'm not agreeing, but I'm listening.
So in that energy, that's one of the reasons why why I'm pro immunization. What I think they do is when you go to a medical facility with a new virus, they take the viruses and they mix them together so they can collect the cough. Speaking of viruses, they take all the viruses because viruses are tiny. So let's say 10,000 people come in with flu A, right? Flu A has infected 10,000 people. All 10,000 people come in to get treated. They extract samples from all 10,000 people of flu A, and they take those samples and they mix those samples together, and they get all of these different thousands of variations of all of these different viruses, and they use that to make a actual vaccine. Because the vaccine works, because the sample size is from millions of people.
People that eat the same garbage.
Right. It's all of the different mutations. There's probably a finite number of mutations that can take place. So they're able to get all of the mutations and consolidate them so that when your body actually builds its immune system, it's going to build its immune system against all the possible variations as well as just that one virus. Does that make sense?
I hear you.
If you really look at
If that's the case, then why don't they just inject everybody with little nanobots?
They're trying.
Quit eating all that junk
they're trying.
and crap. We wouldn't have
Because
to
there's some things
deal with that.
that
Our bodies were made to heal and themselves without poison being put in it.
But the conflict is that because of the way we live,
Yeah.
the viruses evolve and we're too close to each other for our immune systems to keep up, right? Like, my body will develop an immunity and form a homeostasis with my flora and my fauna. But every day you're constantly interacting with new people. You're exchanging, even if you're not trying to, you're constantly exchanging and getting and receiving new stuff. And then that stuff is mixing together with you and, forming new things. And these new things are forming new things. And then they're getting passed around, And then that's why in China, the bullet trains in China can go from one side of the country to the other side of the country. Like, the pathogens normally wouldn't be able to move like that. But you can have one sick person get on one train on one side of China, and then within 6 hours, that one new strand will infect everybody, and now it's going to remutate in everybody again. So because of the way we live, that's the reason why I am pro-immunization. There are certain things, and people are like, well, vaccines, I don't understand why vaccines, they're always trying to vaccinate us, but nobody's ever getting sick. Nobody's ever getting sick because they work. Right? And you know what's the best example? During COVID, they've always said to do what? Wash your hands. Every flu season, before COVID, they were like, wash your hands, do the basics.
I washed my hands and ate mangoes, not just the fruit. I ate the outside, the whole thing.
But
never had it, not gonna get it.
Well, here's the point I'm making. During COVID, during the quarantine, they let out a statistic that said that the common flu virus was the lowest it had ever been in the history. Because everybody was following basic hygiene.
And wearing masks.
Basic hygiene, wearing masks, washing your hands, maintaining a safe distance from each other. Trying to fight COVID reduced the basic level from the standard flu. The standard flu dropped just because of basic hygiene. But it's because of our inability to just do basic shit. It's why we need vaccination. You get what I'm saying?
That's what COVID was to me. It was
just a super
the flu on 2.5.
It was exactly what they said. You keep using all these antibodies, and you keep using all these penicillins, and then it's going to get immune. It's going to develop an immunity, and then it's going to be strong. And the reason why COVID was so destructive was because it attacked the lungs.
Oh, the immune system.
No, the lung. It attacked the lungs.
Yeah, but also the immune system. Well, it's the lungs and a part of the immune system, because that's why the mango. Anyway.
The lymph nodes in your lungs would get inflamed trying to fight off the COVID virus, and then the COVID virus spread through liquid, so it caused it forced your body to create mucus and saliva so that it could spread, because it spread through your liquids, through your fluids.
Nasty.
So yeah, but yeah, if you actually do some research on the viruses and the bacteria and the evolution, and look up like the history of chickenpox and the history of penicillin, and watch those documentaries, you will see like, oh, okay, I get it now.
That's the only thing I ever had too as a kid. I've had chickenpox, not once but twice, and I had it once when I was pregnant. And the doctor was like, "This is impossible." I said, well, "You telling me? This is my second time getting it, and I'm pregnant. So what we gonna do?"
Because of your child's DNA.
Possibly.
The DNA, carrying around another strand of DNA was enough for it to mutate at levels high enough for your body not to recognize it. Because your body has to recognize it as a threat before it will defend against it.
It's true.
And that's when you get sick. Because we're always sick, it's just the levels have to be high enough. And when it comes to certain things like chickenpox, it's so rapid that it'll reach a level that is beyond your body's ability to control. That's why we have a fever. It's actually the reason why we're warm-blooded. Do you know that? Do you know why we're warm-blooded?
No, I do not.
Because of mold and fungus.
In the air or in our body?
In general. Mold and fungus operates below 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Mold and fungus can't survive at temperatures above. They operate within like the temperature danger zone. So within like above, I think 65 degrees is too hot, and above freezing is too cold. In that range is when they can thrive and flourish and do what they do. Outside that range, they either go dormant or they die. So whenever we get mold spores or fungus spores in our body, with some exceptions, for the most part, they stay dormant and they pass through us.
Okay.
Because they can't operate above,
yeah.
like yeast and stuff, they can't operate above 60 degrees. They can't operate above room temperature.
Okay.
So we have
So mold bothers some people, but that's the other thing, got the weak.
well, not every part of your body is always at room temperature. That's how you can get fungal infections in your feet.
I was just gonna say that because
Certain
my
parts
hands,
of you,
yeah, my extremities are usually cold. So cold hands, warm heart. Cold feet, warm heart.
So anything else, or?
I can't think of anything else at this moment. That was the main thing. I was just like,
Yeah. She was laughing at me.
Oh, I was.
And I'm not.
It was
blaming.
funny. And I get it because I'm like, because Paul really wants to be a husband. I want him to be a husband.
See, it's the semantics
Excuse
part of it.
me.
I want to be.
Paul is a
be
husband
alive.
to himself. How about that? He's a husband to himself and work right now, and his computer and school. That's what he's a husband to. So yeah.
Well,
But I want it for you as well. Just with somebody who wants to be your damn wife. That's all I ask.
when you find it,
Yeah.
let me know. Bring her to me.
No, it's called get a divorce, and she will appear.
Bring her to me.
How about that? But as always, thanks for, I guess, listening, showing up, coming around,
As always.
liking and subscribing.
My name is Paul Emerson, and I'm giving you
And that's the bay.
Our 2 cents. I'm gonna turn the camera off.
I guess I can go over there and turn the camera off.
Yay!
Peace.
Co-pilot.
You know, you gotta do yours because I don't want to mess it up.
Fair enough.
What's going on though?
Poke 'em.